Question 1. Classification of medical devices. A manufacturer is developing a new medical device that uses artificial intelligence (AI) to analyze X signals and detect potential cardiac arrhythmias. The device is intended to assist healthcare professionals in diagnosing heart conditions but does not provide an automatic treatment recommendation. Under the Medical Device Regulation MDR 2017-745, how should this device be classified? A. Class I, since the device does not directly treat or intervene in patient's condition. B. Class A, as it provides diagnostic information but does not pose high risk to patients. C. Class I, since the device plays a critical role in diagnosing serious conditions and influences clinical decisions. D. Class O, because AI-based medical software is automatically classified at the highest risk level. Answer. C. Class I. Explanation. Under MDR 2017-745, classification rules for software-based medical devices are outlined in Annex O-NAT Rule 11. Software that provides information that influences clinical decisions must be classified based on the severity of the condition it addresses. Since the AI-driven analysis software detects cardiac arrhythmias, which could be life-threatening if misdiagnosed, all's under Class I. Why not Class I? Class I is reserved for low-risk devices, such as general health monitoring apps that do not influence clinical decisions. Why not Class I? Class IA is for diagnostic software that does not directly impact critical health outcomes. Since the device assists in diagnosing heart conditions it poses a higher risk than Class IA allows, why not Class I through, while high-risk implantable devices and software controlling life-supporting equipment are often Class I through. AI-based medical software is not automatically classified at the highest risk level unless it makes life or death decisions autonomously. Question 2. Post-market surveillance PMS and vigilance. The European medical device manufacturer has launched a new implantable orthopedic device. After 6 months, the manufacturer receives multiple reports of an unexpected device failure that may lead to serious injury. What are the manufacturer's obligations under MDR 2017-745 regarding this issue? A. The manufacturer must report the incidents to the European Database on Medical Devices (EUDAM) within 30 days. B. The manufacturer must immediately recall all devices from the market and notify the competent authorities. C. The manufacturer must submit serious incident report within 15 days and, if necessary, initiate field safety corrective action (FSCA). D. The manufacturer should wait until further data collected before taking any regulatory action. Answer. C. The manufacturer must submit a serious incident report within 15 days and, if necessary, initiate a field safety corrective action (FSCA). Explanation. Under Article 87 of MDR 2017-745, serious incidents related to medical devices must be reported within strict timelines. Serious incident reports must be submitted within 15 days of becoming aware of the issue. Incident could result in death or serious deterioration in health. Field safety corrective actions (FSCAs) must be taken if the device poses an unacceptable risk to patients. Periodic summary reporting (PSR) is only applicable for non-critical incidents. Why not? A. Reporting serious incidents within 30 days is incorrect. The standard deadline is 15 days unless it is a life-threatening issue, in which case reporting is required immediately within 2 days. Why not B? A total recall is not always required. The FSCA process allows for corrective measures like product modifications, additional warnings, or restricted use. Why not D? Delaying regulatory action violates ADR's post-market surveillance requirements and could result in regulatory penalties or device suspension. Question 3. Scenario-based. Person responsible for regulatory compliance (RRC), Dr. Martina Weber, is the head of regulatory affairs for a German medical device company that distributes surgical instruments across the EU. The company, which has fewer than 30 employees, does not manufacture its own products, but imports and distributes medical devices made by a U.S. company. The EO asks Dr. Weber whether the company needs to appoint a person responsible for regulatory compliance (RRC) under MDR 2017-745. What should Dr. Weber advise? A. RRC required since the company is only a distributor, not a manufacturer. B. Already required, but since the company is fewer than 50 employees, they can outsource this responsibility to an external consultant. C. The company must appoint a or is permanently and continuously available even though it is only a distributor. ERC requirements only apply to manufacturers, so the company is exempt. Answer: B. Already required, but since the company has fewer than 50 employees, they can outsource this responsibility to an external consultant. Explanation: according to Article 15 of MDR 2017/745, all medical device manufacturers, authorized representatives, and importers must appoint a person responsible for regulatory compliance (ORC) who ensures compliance with EU regulations. However, there are special conditions. For manufacturers and large importers, ORC must be a permanent in-house expert with regulatory knowledge. For small companies, fewer than 50 employees or annual revenue under 10 million euros, the ORC role can be outsourced to an external consultant, provided the consultant is permanently available. Why not, though? While distributors have fewer regulatory responsibilities, importers must still comply with ORC requirements under Article 15(5). Why not C? The company is not required to have a full-time and ORC since it meets the small business exemption. Why not D? ORC requirements apply to manufacturers, importers, and authorized representatives, not just manufacturers. Since this company imports devices, it must comply. Question 4. Classification of medical devices. Special rules for software as medical device (SaMD). Software that functions as medical device (SaMD) is subject to specific classification rules under MDR 2017/745. European manufacturer has developed an AI-powered diagnostic tool designed to detect early signs of diabetic retinopathy based on retinal images. The software provides diagnostic recommendations to healthcare professionals but does not make final treatment decisions. The manufacturer believes the software should be classified as Class I device, arguing that it is only an made rather than a diagnostic tool. However, during an audit by notified body, concerns arise regarding the appropriate classification. Which classification is most appropriate under MDR 2017/745? A. Class I. The software is merely an aid and does not provide definitive diagnosis. B. The Class A. The software influences clinical decisions but does not pose high risk. C. The Class A. The software provides diagnostic data that could directly impact patient management. D. A Class O. The software makes life-critical decisions based on AI algorithms. Answer: C. Class A. Explanation: according to Annex Rule 11 of MDR 2017/745, software that provides information used for diagnostic or therapeutic purposes is generally classified as Class A or owned through depending on its impact on patient health. If the software directly influences clinical decisions and could lead to significant patient harm if it malfunctions, it may be classified Class A or even Class O for high-risk conditions. Why not Class I? Rule 11 states that software with a medical purpose that influences diagnosis or treatment is at least Class A. The manufacturers claim that it is only an WADA does not exempt it from higher classification. Why not Class A? If the diagnostic software can significantly impact patient management, misdiagnosis, or treatment decisions, it qualifies as Class A. Why not Class O? Class O is reserved for software making critical treatment decisions. E.g. automated dosing for chemotherapy. Here, the AI only assists doctors and does not make final treatment decisions. Question 5. Conformity assessment and notified bodies. A medical device manufacturer is seeking CE marking for a new Class A implantable orthopedic device. The device is subject to a conformity assessment under MDR 2017/745. The manufacturer believes they can self-certify compliance through internal testing and documentation, but their regulatory consultant warns that their device will notified body involvement. Which of the following is the correct conformity assessment pathway under MDR 2017/745? A. The manufacturer can self-certify because Class A devices are not high risk. B. A notified body must conduct a full quality assurance assessment and a type examination Annex X before CE marking. C. The manufacturer needs competent authority approval but not notified body involvement. D. Class A devices must undergo clinical trials before approval in all cases. Answer: B. A notified body must conduct a full quality assurance assessment and a type examination Annex X before CE marking. Explanation: under MDR 2017/745, The conformity assessment for Class IB devices requires notified body involvement. No full quality assurance system. The manufacturer must have a quality management system QMS reviewed by a notified, which then assesses compliance with general safety and performance requirement GPR. An exec type examination. The notified body evaluates the specific sample of the device to ensure compliance. Why not they? Class IB devices cannot be self-certified. A notified body oversight is mandatory. Why not? C. Competent authorities monitor post-market activities, but do not replace notified bodies for pre-market approval. Why not? D. Clinical investigations are not always mandatory, but may be required if there is insufficient clinical data. Question 6. Post-market surveillance and periodic safety update reports. Sir, a European manufacturer produces a Class ear wound care device that has been on the market for 2 years. During an audit, the competent authority requests the company's periodic safety update report, sir, for review. However, the manufacturer argues that SIRs are only required for Class OMANF and Class ear devices. Which of the following is correct? So requirements. A. SIRs are required only for Class OMANF devices, not for Class ear. B. The manufacturer is correct. Class ear devices do not require SIRs. C. SIRs are required for Class ear devices but do not need to be submitted to the competent authority unless requested. D. SIRs must be submitted annually for all Class I ear and ROMA devices. Answer. C. SIRs are required for Class ear devices but do not need to be submitted to the competent authority unless requested. Explanation. Under Article 86 of MDR 2017-745, manufacturers of Class ear IB and ROMANF devices must prepare periodic safety update reports, SIRs, but submission requirements vary. Class ear devices, SIRs must be kept on file and provided to comp authorities upon request. Class I and ROMANF devices, SIRs must be submitted to notified bodies annually. Why not they? SIRs apply to Class I, IB, and ROMANF or not just CLAOMANF. Why not? B. The manufacturer is incorrect. SIRs are required for Class ear devices. Why not? D. Class I devices are subject to post-market surveillance PMS, but not SIRs. Question 7. Scenario-based. Field Safety Corrective Action, FSCR, and Vigilance Reporting. Dr. Martinez, hospital administrator, reports that new implantable pacemaker from Medtech Limited has been malfunctioning in patients, causing unexpected battery depletion within months of implantation. This has resulted in several urgent surgeries to replace the pacemaker. Medtech Limited is aware of the issue but is considering delaying its corrective action. Conduct further internal testing before informing authorities. What is the correct regulatory action Medtech Limited must take under MDR 2017-745? A. Immediately report the serious incidents to competent authorities and issue field safety corrective action, FSCA. B. Conduct internal testing before notifying competent authorities. C. Wait until larger number of incidents occur before initiating an FSCA. D. Notify affected hospitals, but avoid regulatory reporting until full root cause analysis is completed. And so A. Immediately report the serious incidents to competent authorities and issue a field safety corrective action FSCA. Explanation. Under Article 87 of MDR 2017-745, manufacturers must report serious incidents within 2 days if it poses an immediate public health risk, 10 days for life-threatening issues, 15 days for other serious incidents. A field safety corrective action FSCA required under Article 89, which may include product recalls, modifications, or enhanced monitoring, issuing a field safety notice FSN to inform users. Why not? B or C. Delaying corrective action is a regulatory violation. Why not? D. FSCA must be reported to competent authorities, not just hospitals. Question 8. Device classification. Borderline product. European skincare company develops light-based acne treatment device that uses low-level laser therapy (LLT) to reduce inflammation and bacterial growth. The manufacturer argues that the device should be classified as cosmetic product rather than a medical device because it is used for skin enhancement rather than medical treatment. Under MDR 2017-745, which classification is most appropriate? A. The device is Class I medical device because it is non-invasive. B. The device is Class ear medical device because it modifies biological functions with light therapy. C. The device is cosmetic product because it only enhances appearance. D. The device is exempt from MDR as it does not claim medical function. Answer. B. The device is a Class A medical device because it modifies biological functions with light therapy. Explanation. Anacomen Rule 9 of MDR classifies non-invasive therapeutic devices affecting biological processes as Class A. Why not they? Class I applies to low-risk devices without significant therapeutic effects. Why not C or D? MDR Article 2(1) defines medical devices as those intended for diagnosis, prevention, monitoring, or treatment of disease. Acne treatment is a medical purpose, not just cosmetic. Question 9. Clinical evaluation and post-market clinical follow-up. PSE. A manufacturer of an implantable neurostimulation device has successfully completed its clinical evaluation and obtained CE marking. During post-market surveillance, new data suggests that certain patients are experiencing unexpected adverse effects. The competent authority requests additional post-market clinical follow-up PSEF studies, which regular obligation applies under MDR 2017-745. A. PSEF studies are voluntary unless the manufacturer finds serious risks. B. PSEF is mandatory for Class I in implantable devices as part of post-market surveillance. C. The manufacturer may ignore the request unless the notified body explicitly requires it. D. The manufacturer must submit a new clinical investigation before continuing sales. Answer. PSEF is mandatory for Class I and implantable devices as part of post-market surveillance. Explanation. Under Article 61 and Anaomen Vapuvimidi PESA is required for Class devices, implantable devices, regardless of class. Why not? A. PSEF is not voluntary. B. Is legal requirement. Why not? C. Competent authorities and notified bodies have the right to request PSEF data. Why not? D. New clinical investigations are not always required unless PSEF data is insufficient. Question 10. Unique device identification (UD) requirements. A manufacturer of Class I infusion pumps is preparing to place their devices on the EU market. To comply with UD requirements under MDR, they must assign a unique device identifier (UD). Which statement is correct regarding UD compliance? A. UD must be placed on device labels and packaging for traceability. B. Only Class I devices require UD. C. UD is optional for reusable devices. D. UD applies only to implantable medical devices. Answer. A. UD must be placed on device labels and packaging for traceability. Explanation. Under Article 27 of MDR, UD requirements apply to all device classes. Class I bone through UD must be included on device labels and outer packaging. Electronic health records when applicable. UDMDU database for market traceability. Question 11. Which of the following is not required for a declaration of conformity doc under MDR 2017-745 for a medical device? A. The name and address of the manufacturer and, if applicable, the authorized representative. B. A detailed description of the device's clinical evaluation. C. Statement that the device complies with relevant MDR requirements. D. The device's unique device identifier (UD). Answer. B. A detailed description of the device's clinical evaluation. Explanation. The declaration of conformity doc is formal statement issued by the manufacturer affirming that medical device complies with all applicable requirements under MDR 2017-745. While it includes essential information like the name and address of the manufacturer and the authorized representative, statement of compliance with the MD requirements, and the UD, it does not require detailed description of the device's clinical evaluation. Instead, clinical evaluation details are part of the technical documentation submitted to the notified body or maintained for internal purposes. The doc should summarize the conformity assessment procedures followed and declare compliance with applicable regulations. Question 12. Which of the following is the primary function of a quality management system (QMS) under MDR 2017-745 for medical device manufacturers? A. To monitor the financial performance of the company. B. To ensure the device complies with clinical requirements only. C. To manage the overall quality of the device throughout its life cycle, ensuring safety and performance. D. To implement marketing and advertising strategies for devices. Answer. C. To manage the overall quality of the device throughout its life cycle, ensuring safety and performance. Explanation. Under MDR 2017-745, the quality management system QMS is a fundamental requirement for medical device manufacturers. The QMS ensures that manufacturers consistently meet the general safety and performance requirement (GEPIA) throughout the device's lifecycle from development to post-market surveillance. It includes processes for risk management, production, testing, clinical evaluation, and documentation. The QMS is not focused on financial performance or marketing, but on maintaining the safety, effectiveness, and quality of the medical device at all stages in line with regulatory expectations. Question 13. What is the significance of the MDR classification rules in determining the regulatory pathway for a medical device? A. Classification rules are only used for Class 1 for devices to determine if clinical investigations are necessary. B. Classification rules help manufacturers identify the appropriate conformity assessment procedures based on the device's risk level. C. Classification rules are irrelevant for custom-made devices as they follow a separate regulatory path. D. Classification rules apply exclusively to devices placed on the market, European Union, and not to those distributed globally. Answer. B. Classification rules help manufacturers identify the appropriate conformity assessment procedures based on the device's risk level. Explanation. The classification rules under MDR 2017-745 are crucial in determining the appropriate regulatory pathway for a medical device. These rules classify devices into one of four classes, Class I, IB, Roman thro, based on their intended use, level, and invasiveness. The classification influences the conformity assessment procedure the manufacturer must follow, such as whether a notified body is required for evaluation or if self-certification is sufficient. CLIA devices, for example, require the highest level of scrutiny, including clinical investigations, while Class I devices might require only self-declaration. Classification rules help ensure devices are regulated according to their potential risk to patients and users. Question 14. What is the purpose of clinical evaluation under MDR 2017-745 for medical devices? A. To assess the economic feasibility of the device in the market. B. To demonstrate the safety and performance of the device based on clinical data. C. To evaluate the marketing and sales strategy for the device. D. To determine the device's environmental impact. Answer. B. To demonstrate the safety and performance of the device based on clinical data. Explanation. Clinical evaluation is a key requirement under MDR 2017-745 and is used to demonstrate that a medical device meets the necessary safety and performance requirements through the use of clinical data. This data may come from clinical trials, published literature, or real-world evidence, e.g., post-surveillance data. The evaluation process ensures that the device performs as intended and that its benefits outweigh any potential risks. The clinical evaluation is an ongoing process and must be updated regularly throughout the device's lifecycle to incorporate new data or address any safety concerns. Clinical evaluation is not intended to assess market feasibility, sales strategies, or environmental impact. Question 15. Under MDR 2017-745, which of the following statements about the responsibilities of authorized representatives is correct? A. Authorized representatives are only required for devices marketed in non-EU countries. B. Authorized representatives act as the manufacturer's point of contact for regulatory authorities in the EUEC. Authorized representatives are responsible for the financial performance of the manufacturer's devices in the EU market. D. Authorized representatives must carry out the clinical evaluation for the device in place manufacturer. Answer. B. Authorized representatives act as the manufacturer's point of contact for regulatory authorities in the EU. Explanation. Under MDR 2017-745, authorized representatives are designated by manufacturers based outside the European Union to act as the official point of contact with EU regulatory authorities. The R represents the manufacturer within the EU and he ensures that the manufacturer complies with MDR requirements, including maintaining technical documentation, managing conformity assessment, and facilitating post-market surveillance. While the R has regulatory responsibilities, they are not responsible for clinical evaluation or the device's financial performance. They do not handle marketing or sales matters, but ensure that devices comply with the necessary regulatory frameworks in the EU. Question 16. Clinical evaluation. Literature versus clinical investigations. Manufacturer of new Class IB spinal implant is preparing for CE marking under MDR 2017-745. Instead of conducting clinical investigation, they plan to use existing scientific literature to demonstrate safety and performance. Under MDR, when is the use of literature-based clinical evaluation permissible? A. Only for Class I and IR devices. B. When the manufacturer can demonstrate sufficient equivalence to previously approved device. C. Never. Clinical investigations are always required. D. Only when notified body waives the requirement. Answer: B. When the manufacturer can demonstrate sufficient equivalence to a previously approved device. Explanation: Article 61 and ANAOMNV allow the use of literature-based evaluation if the device is equivalent to an existing CE-marked device and supported by sufficient clinical data. Why not? C. MDR does not always mandate new clinical trials if equivalence is proven. Why not? D. Notified bodies do not waive the requirement arbitrarily. Question 17. UD and UDAIMD registration. A manufacturer of Class IR syringes is preparing for EE market entry. They must ensure compliance with unique device identification (UD) requirements and register the device in UDAIMD. Which statement is correct? A. UD must be assigned to all devices and linked to UDAIMD. B. UDAIMD registration is optional for Class IR devices. C. UD is only required for implantable and Class OMN for devices. D. UD must only appear on external packaging, not on device labels. Answer: A. UD must be assigned to all devices and linked to UDAIMD. Explanation: Article 27 mandates UD for all medical devices. UDAIMD is the central database for device traceability and regulatory compliance. Question 18. Competent authority intervention. Market restrictions. Competent authority identifies safety concerns with Class A medical imaging device and orders the manufacturer to halt sales until further investigation. Under MDR, what justifies such intervention? A. Serious risk to patient health or non-compliance with MDR. B. Complaints from at least 5 different EU countries. C. Any customer dissatisfaction, even if minor. D. Only if competitor files legal complaint. Answer: A. Serious risk to patient health or non-compliance with MDR. Explanation: Article 94 allows competent authorities to restrict or prohibit a device if serious risks are identified. Question 19. Which of the following best describes the requirements for post-market clinical follow-up PSEF under MDR 2017-745 for certain medical devices? A. PSEF is not required unless the device has been involved in a major safety incident. B. PSEF is only required for cloud-owned devices to monitor long-term safety. C. PSEF is a mandatory ongoing process to gather clinical data for devices with high risks or innovative characteristics. D. PSEF is optional for all devices and only needed if the manufacturer desires to update clinical data. Answer: C. PSEF is a mandatory ongoing process to gather clinical data for devices with high risks or innovative characteristics. Explanation: Post-market clinical follow-up PSEF is a key part of the ongoing clinical evaluation process under MDR 2017-745. It is a mandatory requirement for medical devices that have high risks or involve innovative technologies. PSEF is designed to monitor the long-term safety and effectiveness of the device once it is on the market and provide additional clinical data to support the device's clinical evaluation. It is not limited to devices with major safety issues. Instead, it is part of the manufacturer's responsibility to maintain continuous safety and performance monitoring. PSEF is required to ensure that the device remains compliant with MDR even after being placed on the market. Question 20. Labeling requirements under MDR. A company manufacturing reusable surgical instruments is updating its product labels to comply with MDR. Which labeling requirement is correct? A. Labels must include UD warnings and instructions for sterilization. B. Reusable devices are exempt from UD. C. Only the manufacturer's name is required on the label. D. Labels must be in EU language only. Answer: A. Labels must include UD warnings and instructions for sterilization. Explanation: Annex I, Chapter MDR mandates that labels include UD, unique device identifier, instructions for use, warnings, and safety precautions. Question 21. Which of the following steps is not part of the conformity assessment procedure for cloud-owned through medical devices under MDR 2017-745? A. Clinical investigation and evaluation of the device's performance. B. Involvement of notified body for device evaluation. C. Self-certification by the manufacturer. D. Preparation of declaration of conformity doc. Answer: C. Self-certification by the manufacturer. Explanation: for cloud and for medical devices, self-certification is not sufficient under MDR 2017-745. This is the highest risk classification, and such devices require involvement from a notified body to assess their compliance with MDR. The manufacturer must submit a clinical evaluation which is based on clinical investigations along with declaration of conformity doc. The process is more rigorous compared to low-risk devices like Class I, where self-certification can be an option. Therefore, self-certification is not applicable for Class OMRA devices. Question 22. Which of the following actions is required for compliance with the Unique Device Identification (UD) system for Class I medical devices under MDR 2017-745? A. UD must be included on the device packaging and labeling. B. UD is only required for cloud-only devices. C. UD is optional for all medical devices under MDR 2017-745. D. UD is only required if the device is sterilized. Answer: A. UD must be included on the device packaging and labeling. Explanation: under the UD system requirements, Article 27 and in Roman 3, unique device identification (UD) must be provided on the packaging and labeling of devices, including Class A devices. The UD system ensures traceability of devices across the supply chain, facilitates post-market surveillance, and enhances patient safety. The UD includes device identifier (UDD) and a production identifier (UDPI), with submission to the European UDAIM database required. UD is not optional and is not limited to cloud-only devices. It applies across various device classes, with exceptions for certain custom-made or investigational devices. Question 23. What is the purpose of the Periodic Safety Update Report, SIR, under MDR 2017-745 for Class A IB roam through devices? A. To report the manufacturing costs associated with the device. B. To summarize the clinical evidence and safety performance of the device post-market. C. To outline the marketing strategies of the device. D. To provide updates on the training programs for healthcare professionals. Answer: B. To summarize the clinical evidence and safety performance of the device post-market. Explanation: the Periodic Safety Update Report, SIR, is an essential post-market surveillance tool for Class A IB Roman devices. According to Article 86 of MDR 2017-745, the SIR provides a summary of clinical evidence and evaluates the safety performance of the device over time. This includes adverse events, device-related risks, and corrective actions taken. The SIR is required on a periodic basis with a frequency depending on the class of the device. It ensures ongoing compliance with the General Safety and Performance Requirement (DEPR) and enhances patient safety by monitoring the device's performance after market entry. Question 24. Which of the following devices requires the manufacturer to submit a clinical evaluation report, SIR, under MDR 2017-745? A. A non-invasive thermometer intended for use in healthy adults. B. A dental implant intended for use in patients with severe bone loss. C. A wristwatch used to monitor time. D. A pair of non-prescription sunglasses. Answer: B. A dental implant intended for use in patients with severe bone loss. Explanation: under ANOM of MDR 2017-745, a clinical evaluation report, SIR, is required for most medical devices, especially those that pose high risks or are invasive. Dental implants, like other Class IB and cloud-only devices, must undergo clinical evaluation to assess their safety and performance-based clinical data. A SIR includes the analysis of clinical literature and, where applicable, results from clinical investigations. A non-invasive thermometer, Class I, or wristwatch non-medical device does not require a SIR. Similarly, non-prescription sunglasses are not considered medical devices and do not require a SIR under EMEA. Question 25. Which of the following is a key responsibility of notified bodies under MDR 2017-745 when reviewing the technical documentation of medical devices? A. To ensure compliance with ISO 13485 standards only. B. To ensure that all clinical trials are conducted in compliance with Good Clinical Practice (GCP). C. To assess the clinical evaluation, risk management, and conformity of the device. D. To market and distribute the medical devices. Answer: C. To assess the clinical evaluation, risk management, and conformity of the device. Explanation: notified bodies play a critical role in ensuring that medical devices meet the requirements of MDR 2017-745. Their responsibilities include assessing the clinical evaluation, evaluating the risk management processes, and reviewing the overall conformity of the device with MDR requirements. This involves a detailed review of the technical documentation, including the manufacturer's risk analysis, clinical data, and post-market surveillance plans. ISO 13485 certification and compliance with good clinical practice (GCP) are relevant but not the primary focus of notified bodies in device approval. Notified bodies do not market or distribute the devices, but are responsible for ensuring that the device meets MDR standards. Question 26. What is the role of clinical investigations in the context of MDR 2017-745, especially for high-risk devices? Class I enrollment for A. Clinical investigations are only required for devices that are not approved under the CE marking process. B. Clinical investigations are mandatory for all devices intended for human use, regardless of risk classification. C. Clinical investigations are required only for Class I devices to prove safety and performance. D. Clinical investigations are optional and can be substituted with literature reviews in all cases. Answer. C. Clinical investigations are required only for Class I for devices to prove safety and performance. Explanation. Under MDR 2017-745, clinical investigations are generally required for high-risk devices like Class I and sometimes Class I devices to demonstrate their safety and performance. These investigations are part of the clinical evaluation process. For Class I and Class I, clinical investigations are often not necessary provided that clinical data from existing sources, e.g., published literature, equivalent devices, is sufficient to support the device's safety and performance. However, for high-risk devices, a clinical investigation is crucial to gathering primary data to support the device's clinical benefits. Question 27. Which of the following best describes the economic operator responsibilities for manufacturers under MDR 2017-745? A. Manufacturers must establish a legal entity in every European Union country where the device is marketed. B. Manufacturers are responsible for the post-market surveillance of all devices, but are not responsible for their importers or distributors. C. Manufacturers must ensure that the device conforms to MDR, prepare technical documentation, and maintain ongoing compliance. D. Manufacturers are only required to compliance during the pre-market phase. Answer. C. Manufacturers must ensure that the device conforms to MDR, prepare technical documentation, and maintain ongoing compliance. Explanation. Under MDR 2017-745, manufacturers are responsible for ensuring that their devices comply with MDR requirements throughout the device's lifecycle. This includes preparing the technical documentation, ensuring that clinical evaluations, post-market surveillance activities are in place, and maintaining ongoing compliance with the General Safety and Performance Requirement (GPR). Manufacturers must also provide clear instructions and labeling. They are responsible for maintaining compliance at every stage of the product lifecycle, not just in the pre-market phase. Additionally, manufacturers must designate an authorized representative when they are based outside the European Union. Question 28. Under MDR 2017-745, what should a manufacturer do if they encounter a serious incident involving a medical device already on the market? A. Inform the public and offer refunds to all affected patients. B. Report the incident to the relevant competent authority and notified body and initiate a field safety corrective action (FSCA) if necessary. C. Ignore the issue until it is raised in a periodic audit. D. Only report the incident if the device caused death or serious injury. Answer. B. Report the incident to the relevant competent authority and notified body and initiate a field safety corrective action (FSCA) if necessary. Explanation. According to Article 87 of MDR 2017-745, manufacturers must report serious incidents involving their devices to the relevant competent authority and the notified body without delay. A field safety corrective action (FSCA) required if the incident indicates a potential risk to patient safety. The manufacturer should also investigate the root cause of the incident and ensure appropriate corrective actions are taken. Reporting is not optional and must include incidents that might lead to death, serious injury, or device failure. Ignoring incidents could result in non-compliance with MDR and potential penalties. Question 29. Which of the following statements about the European Database on Medical Devices (EUDAMED) is accurate under MDR 2017-745? A. EUDAMED is only accessible to manufacturers. B. EUDAMED provides a platform for notified bodies to conduct marketing activities for medical devices. C. EUDAMED is used for the storage and management of device-related data for market surveillance and transparency. D. EUDAMED is solely a database for medical device approval submissions, not for post-market activities. Answer: C. EUDAMED is used for the storage and management of device-related data for market surveillance and transparency. Explanation: the European Database on Medical Devices (EUDAMED) is a centralized system for the collection, storage, and management of data related to medical devices under MDR 2017-745. It is intended to improve market surveillance, enhance transparency, and support the traceability of devices throughout the EU market. It facilitates the submission of information related to CE marking, UD, clinical investigations, incident reporting, and market surveillance activities. EUDAMED is not limited to approval submissions, but is a crucial tool for ongoing post-market monitoring. Question 30. Which of the following best describes the post-market surveillance (PMS) requirement under MDR 2017-745 for medical device manufacturers? A. Manufacturers must establish and implement post-market surveillance systems to monitor device performance and take corrective actions as needed. B. Post-market surveillance is only required if a device has been reported for safety issues. C. Post-market surveillance is required only for class owner devices and is optional for other classes. D. Manufacturers are not responsible for post-market surveillance if the device is CE marked. Answer: A. Manufacturers must establish and implement post-market surveillance systems to monitor device performance and take corrective actions as needed. Explanation: post-market surveillance (PMS) is a critical component of MDR 2017-745 and applies to all classes of medical devices. Manufacturers are required to establish and implement effective PMS systems that continuously monitor the safety performance of devices once they are placed on the market. This includes collecting and analyzing data from various sources, such as user reports, adverse events, and product performance data, to detect any potential risks or issues. Based on these findings, manufacturers must take necessary corrective actions, such as issuing field safety corrective actions, FSC, or updating device labeling. PMS is not optional, and all devices on the market must comply with these requirements, regardless of risk class.